There's this guy called Chuando Tan. I don't know if it's pronounced well. It's a Singapore guy. And his reputation is that he's like 58 years old or something like that. But he looks like he's 35, even 25 in some pictures. Of course, he probably uses some filters and all that, but doesn't change the fact that he looks super young for his age. He's the age of my father, but he looks like he's fucking 5 years older than me. It's pretty crazy. And he doesn't have any crazy routine. Most people would think he's doing crazy shit like Brian Johnson, and I think that's how it's called. You know, the guy his reputation was that he looked a bit like a vampire, super pale with ginger hair, and he's reputed to use fucking 2 million. He has a $2 million routine just so that he can reverse aging. But this guy did it purely with a super simple routine. Of course, genetics are probably involved, but what I'm trying to say is I'm opting for this kind of simple routine from now on, because truth is, who cares about having crazy results in the short term, you know, making your routine as elaborate as possible, as efficient as possible, if it's not a routine you can handle in the long run. Because truth be told, life is going to happen, whether it's you're on vacation for a while and you miss out on your routine and then you struggle to get back to it, or there's a tough life event that makes you, you know, discouraged and makes you unable to really do it as before, and then you can't really go back to it. Because the more elaborate the routine, the more mental power it requires to keep it going. And even if you get used to it, the moment you lose the momentum, you lose the habit for a little bit, you have to go back to it all over again and have it be hard again. So I figured out a routine that made me go from here to here. And the first photo is literally 5 years ago, something like that. During those 5 years, for 4.5 of them, I still looked like that, which is a bit better, but still fat, right? And in about 5 months, I achieved this one. Simply by what I'm going to tell you right now. And I'm not going to go for an hour and a half. I'm just going to tell you right now. The first step is simplicity. So keep it stupid simple. You want to have a set number of exercises and make it as low as possible, which means put exercises that prioritize a bunch of muscles at the same time. For example, for me, it's dips, pull-ups, and then maybe squats or lunges. That's the bulk of it. And I don't do that many lunges because since I was fat for a while, my legs are just big like that. It just is what it is. So it's an advantage I have. Other than that, I do some stuff for arm wrestling exercises, but you don't need to do this. Like it's just to illustrate how simple you can make it. I have another routine that I do on other days, which is more based on mobility, but I'll talk about it another time. Right now, if you want to get to this ability to have a better physique without making your whole life around it, and with the ability to keep it for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and be able to keep that physique and improve it until you're fucking 60, 70 years old, then that's what you want to follow. So yeah, try and make those exercises more relating to having full body exercises, like a sort of full body workout. And you don't need to do it every day, like 3, 4, maybe 5 times a week. If you want to do more, you can. If you don't want to, you don't. And don't be obsessed with reps, okay? It's good to, you know, up the reps little by little, but don't get obsessed with it. Just go to failure and then maybe up the weight that you're using those exercises with. The second thing is time and effort efficiency. So this second one is basically about bulking together everything in a short circuit. Instead of having the best rest ranges, right, where you have to wait 3 minutes every time and all that shit. Well, what I do, for example, is I do a bunch of pull-ups, then a bunch of dips, then the forearm exercises, and then I rest for 3 minutes. Then I do the circle again, and I do that 3 times. Now, I've changed my approach to this a little bit in the last few weeks, but for now, I think that's the best way. If you want to be time efficient, just go for that. Also, I recommend you do all this at home. Like buy a pull-up bar, buy some rings that you put on the pull-up bar. This way you have in one place, you have what you need to do the dips and to do the pull-ups. And if you can't do pull-ups, then the rings will allow you to just do Australian pull-ups, which is basically inverted rows. So that works as well. And if you can't do dips, then do dips on your bed from behind or on a bench or on a chair or whatever. It works as well. Another thing that enters in this whole thing is on days where you can't be bothered to work out, don't abandon the whole workout. Just make it as simple as possible. Just instead of telling yourself, I have to do 3 sets every day and it needs to be to failure every day, then on the days where you don't have a lot of time or you can't be bothered, just do 1 set of each and don't go to failure completely. Just tell yourself, okay, I'm going to do a few dips. I'm going to do a few pull-ups. I'm going to do a few other exercises, like a few lunges or something, and I'm done. This way, you don't make the most gains on that day, but you don't lose the habit. And that's what counts. And finally, 3 is enjoyability. Don't feel guilty and listen to David Goggins telling you he works out without any music or anything. And instead, watch a video, watch a movie, watch a fucking show while you're working out. That's what I do. That's why I also recommend to do it at home, because this way I can just have my computer in front of me, my earbuds in my ears, and I just pull out some dips, pull out some pull-ups and all that, do everything I need to do without thinking about it much. And I still go hard, right? I still go intense, but it doesn't feel like an excruciating decision every time I have to decide to work out. Because whatever I was doing, I'm just going to watch a movie. That's what's going on in my head. I'm watching a movie. I just put it in front of my pull-up bar and I do my shit. Priority is going to be about training rather than the best training. And if you follow this, I swear to you, it's going to be 10 times easier to work out. You don't need to go to the gym. Absolutely. You don't need to have the best equipment. You just need to move your body. That's all there is to it. Now you know how to train to build a solid, decent physique without making it your whole life. But you still don't know about the most important thing in any fitness and health journey, which is recovery. So if you want to know more about this, click right here. And don't forget, work on the inside and the outside will follow. Take care, man.